Hey, how are you? Karibuni sana. This is the very special moment. We have a very special show today. This is the Mother's Day weekend, and I just feel so honored to be here. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I hope you're doing all right wherever you are watching us from. This is the Trumpet of Hope, and I am the captain, Jorogawa Jerry, and you can simply call me Andrew for today. And that will be good. You can call me Andrew for today, and that will be good. Where are the mothers in the house? Do we have any mother in the house? Make sure that you share this with a friend. And I hope that we are live and we are loud and clear. Make sure that you let me know that we are loud and clear. We are live on the Trumpet of Hope YouTube channel, the Trumpet of Hope YouTube channel, and also we are live on the Trumpet of Hope page. That is the Facebook page. Greetings from the studio, and together with us today are two great people, two great mothers. And let me tell you something very special. I was born and brought up by a single mom. And it was not easy, having a single mom. And that is why I always salute the single mothers. And today I don't want to leave the single mothers behind because they mean a lot. So being brought up by a single mom, that is why I call myself Jerry, Jorogawa Jerry. And people have often asked, why do you call yourself Jerry? Jerry is a lady's name. And I tell them, hey, I have never seen my dad. I don't know who he is. He did whatever he did, and we salute him for doing that. Hello, congratulations, because if you didn't do whatever you did, we would not be born. And so I tell them, the single mothers and the children born of single mothers, I tell them, or single parent family, I tell them, thumbs up to the men who did whatever they did. It is important to tell God thank you for whatever they did, but also we say thank you to the mothers who took care of the seed to where we are today. And so as we celebrate Mother's Day, it happened to be one of the most celebrated day across the world. Yes, I know this time there are so many challenges because of the COVID-19, and so the mothers are not able to celebrate as they would wish, but all the same, they are not left behind. So today we are having a topic, a beautiful topic, and I will introduce our panelists, and it will be beautiful. The different seasons of a mother and the mom code. The mom code. We're just about to learn what that is from one of our guests. Now, one of our guests is Mrs. Lucy Watani Simiyu. Watani Wasimiyu. She'll be here shortly, and she's a biblical counselor, a health educator, and a teacher. Now, she will come and, teach us too, and that will be beautiful. The other guest is Dr. Pauline Akatsa Hinga. Dr. Pauline Akatsa Hinga is an author and a gifted Bible teacher and intercessor. And let me tell you, she will intercede for us. And I know that will be beautiful. She's a counselor and an inspirational speaker, and she's the founder of what the Brokenly Flores down in Houston, Texas. So welcome, and God bless you so much as we begin this very, very special moment. And moja kwa moja to the other side of the studio. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this beautiful?
This is beautiful. This is awesome. And celebrating mothers.
We are celebrating mothers.
All the mothers.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I want to give you a minute to tag your friends and let them know that we are here. And that will be beautiful. Pastor Patricia Kuguru, thank you so much. Watching from Kenya. Maina L. Abansimbogo, watching from Indiana. Yes, Captain, we are in. Thank you for the program. Mary Shicks, Asante Sana. I don't know where you're watching us from. Thank you so much and welcome. Anastasia is watching us from, this is Dubai. Yes. Dimple Love, Karibu Sana. Martin Wa Nyams. Thank you. I hope you passed my greetings to my mom, na nikakwambia we have to share that because that is good, na usijipende sana when it comes to that. Chanli Walters, Wambi wa Kamau na Wanjiko, karibu sana. Ann Mboro, give us that love, give us that like, give us that share. Paulo Zakaria, thank you so much. Chanlin, asante sana. Let us share this broadcast with your friends and it will be good. So, Mrs. Lucy, Mom, welcome. I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and also to introduce to us the guests.
All right. Thank you so much. Habari zenu, wapendwa. What an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much, Captain, for this opportunity. It's quite an honor and a privilege. And to celebrate us mothers, we don't take it for granted. It's our day, it's our weekend, and every day it's we feel the love. So thank you so much. Yes, I'm Lucy Watani Wajiro Wasimiu.
I need to hear
that's
that.
another story for another day. And as you've all heard, I'm here in this great state of Texas. Houston, it's already feeling like summer. I don't know about you, wherever you are, but it feels good. We thank God for the rain and the sunshine. And what a way to celebrate a Mother's Day. I wear many hats. I am a biblical counselor, and also I'm a health educator. I'm a nurse by profession in public health. And above all, I love the Lord. And what an honor to say that also I'm a mother of 4, 3 boys, 3 wonderful boys, and 1 teenager. Yes, 1 teenager. So that's me. And today I'm honored to have my sister here. I call her my big sister. And I want to congratulate her on air today because she's wearing a hat of a doctor today. She's also a pastor, an intercessor, an author. And we thank you, Dr. Pauline Katsahinga. Welcome and to the show.
Thank you so much for the introduction. It still feels very surreal to be introduced as doctor. I guess it will eventually kind of come and it will make sense because right now it still doesn't. I just want to give a shout out to all the mothers. You are loved, you are appreciated. Without my mother, I would not be the woman that I am today. So my heart is just, not only did I have a prayerful mother, but she passed on the baton to us, to me as her daughter, and I carry it with pride. So as you heard, my name's Pauline Akatsa Wajikoa Higa, and that's a story for another day. I have 4 grown sons, 1 teenager, and I am the grandmother of 2 little boys. So I wear so many hats. Sometimes I don't know which one is on and which one is off. I feel very honored to be here with you. I did start the Brokenly Flawless, and it is a ministry where I believe that our women, we suffer in silence, and it's maybe culture where we come from. And so sometimes we are suffering because we are carrying so much pain. We've been betrayed, we've been hurt, and we just don't know who to tell. We don't know who to trust. And so this came out of a season, my own season of pain, where I realized sometimes we are forced to act like we are superwomen. But in reality, we all need help. Sometimes we need to raise our hand and say, I need you to help me walk through this. So that's where Brokenly Flawless comes from. And it is a place for women to share their experiences. So we give each other hope and the encouragement to know that we are not alone. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm so honored to be here to share this platform with my sister, Lucy. The baton, I pass the baton to you so that you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So the trumpet of hope, we are live and we are going to have a beautiful moment. Thank you so much. And let us welcome our guests with a shout out. Give us a thumbs up, give us a love, and give us a share. I don't mind if you tag somebody, and especially a mother. If you can tag a mother, it would be good. If you can tag a son, it would be beautiful. If you can tag a husband somewhere or a father somewhere, it would be beautiful. If you can tag a daughter somewhere, it will be nice. If you can tell your mom congratulations and thank you so much for being my mom, it will be beautiful. So our topic is very, very special. Lucy, would you please expound and open up that topic, and especially the second part, the mom code? Let's start off.
Yes, thank you. Like we've all said, to be a mother, when you think about our lives and who a mother is, there's something special that God put in us. We are called homemakers. And sometimes we think we are homemakers because, you set up the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner. There is more to that. And I would want to say that as mothers, we carry a physical home, not alone, of course, others that are married, and with due respect also to the single mothers, we have a home, and that's our womb.
Okay.
Our womb. When you think about a woman and the speciality that God gave us, that He didn't give a man, for whatever reason, we are special and we carry that life. God gave us, the ability to carry a soul in us. And we carried them for 9 months. And for those that do not have, even for those that do not have children, God also has placed in us. If you don't have a child of your own, we also are spiritual mothers in one way or the other. And I'm speaking also here to all other mothers. I will start to say that we believe in the faith of the Lord Jesus Christ. We have other people who have their own faiths. But for us, we believe that God made us special as mothers. And that way, God made us special. And I want every mother listening to me to know that you are special. You are special in that God gave you that special gift to carry the last soul, to parent that kid, to bring them up. It's not your gift. It is God's gift, He gave us a gift, and that's what makes it special. I know you want to hear about the mom code, and I'll not keep it a secret for too long, but I would want to say that during our seasons, the different season of our parents, we have the toddlers, we have the young ones, we have the toddlers, we have the adolescents, and we have the adolescents, and we have the young adults, and we have the adults. So during those times, the Bible tells us that in the book of Ecclesiastes 3:1-2, for everything there is a season. There is a season, and there is a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up, a time to embrace. I think in the chapter 5b, it says there's a time to embrace, and there's a time to refrain from embracing. That when people talk about the manual, I want to say that is what we do. This is the manual, the Bible, this is the manual which tells us exactly that. So this different season, a child comes and we embrace them. But there's a time, how do we refrain from that? So with all the seasons that we go through, motherhood should be enjoyed. But let's tell the truth. Do we always enjoy motherhood? Absolutely not. And why do we feel exhausted? Why do I wake up feeling today, instead of, oh, my daughter, I love you, or I do, my son, I embrace the son, I yell, because I feel I have an obligation as a mother to parent well. And who doesn't want to parent well? We all want to. I want to parent well. But we got to know that these children that God gave us are just like us when we were born, before we even knew who the Lord was. And there is sin in them. So that we got to get to a point where you say, Lord, this is your child. Thank you for the gift. I want to do it your way. I cannot do this by myself. We become co-parenters with God. We parent with him. We let him take the pilot seat. You know who a pilot is. So with the mom code, our instincts tell us Hey, Lucy, you got, okay, my child left his shoes, athletic bags. My child has no money for lunch. Lucy, you got to get to the car. Lucy, you got to go to work. Mama Kevin, you got to do ABC. Mama Kevin, you got to, we put ourselves last. It is not selfish where we got to say, hey, you know what? I got to stop and take care of myself. I like to give the analogy of the plane. When you get on the plane, I'm sure all of us have been on planes if you're on this part of the world. When you get on the plane, the first thing they tell you, put your air on first. In case of anything, you put your, even with that toddler, even with the 1 month old, you got to put your air first. Have you ever thought about it?
Mm-hmm.
My sister Pauline, have you ever thought about why they tell us that? Why do we have to put the air first? Because in case of anything, you got to help that child, but you cannot help them if you don't have the air yourself.
Sure.
The same way as mothers, when you do not take care of yourself, there are times that you got to say, hey, Lucy, I have got to balance my life. I've got to know when to say no. Do you say no to your child? But with understanding. And that's something I want to explain too. When we say no to our children, when we say yes to them, every reason, every rule has to have a reason. Mm-hmm. My dear, today I cannot come for this game. We want to go to all our children's games. We want to do everything. No, we got to be able to say, today we are not going to go anywhere. It's Saturday. And I'm thanking God for this time of COVID. It might sound absurd. We are staying home and say, can we just chill? That's the language our youth use. Let's just chill. So the mom code works against us because you feel you're a helicopter. Instead of being God helicopter, letting God take over your life as a mother and saying, I cannot do this, I need help. We become helicopter moms. We are driving everything, and we wear down. We get exhausted. We become painful. And when they say, when mom ain't happy, no one happy. Guess what?
That's very
You'll be
true.
full of frustration.
That's very important.
Yes.
That is beautiful. Lucy, you have just made something, you have just created that picture. And at times it turns emotional, by the way. But one of the things that I would like us to understand, to underline is, moms, put yourself first. I wish out of everything that Lucy Watani Simiyu has said, let us underline that. Moms, put yourself first. Once you put yourself first, you'll be able to be strong. You'll be able to be happy. You'll be able to be bright. You'll be able to be the best. And once you are all empowered, everybody else, including that man who is in your life, will come, running. Daktari.
There was a couple of things that Lucy said that, as she talked about it, I thought, she said seasons. She talked about seasons. And as she's talking about putting ourselves first, one of the things that I would like to really highlight is you need to have the wisdom to know what your season is. And what I mean by that is we are not all at the same place. I have grown children. So there are certain things I can do that a mother who has younger children may not necessarily be able to do. Mm-hmm. And that's where the wisdom of knowing this is my season. And in my season, I need to be able to interact with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. When I had younger children, a lot of the people that I interacted with also had younger children. And one of the things about being able to do that is we can help each other. I babysat for people. They babysat for me. And those are the moments where we talk about take care of yourself. You do not want to leave a hungry child saying, I am going to take care of myself. I am going to the spa. Hello? No. Let's have the wisdom to know I cannot leave my toddler if there's nobody to take care of him. Mm-hmm. So this is where let's collaborate. Let's have a community around us, people that I can call and say, Lucy, today I want to go to the spa. I need you to watch over my child. It needs to be someone that I've cultivated a relationship with. And then as my children grow older, we also want to be able to interact with people who are like-minded and have similar desires. So I'll tell you what, my home was usually the go-to place for teenagers. And I did that purposely because when they're in my house, I'm able to know and I'm able to oversee and I can gauge and know who their friends are. I did it purposely. Where, who's your friend? Oh yeah, invite them, let them come over. And then as they come and they're hanging out and they're playing their games, I'm also hearing some of the things that are being said. And that gives me an opening to also be able to interact with my children. So as Lucy said, the mom code can make us do a lot of crazy things where you are mama bear and you want to control everything. I like to use the analogy of the hula hoop. As girls, we have this hula hoop that you put around you, right? If you were to think about that hula hoop, how many people can you fit in a hula hoop? Yourself, nobody else. So the only thing that you can control is what's within that hula hoop. Everything else outside that is outside your control. And that's where we need the wisdom to know, hey, as much as these are my children, I cannot control everything about them. I'm not with them 100% of the time. There is one who is there with them all the time. And I do need to understand that I will pray for them. And there are times, yes, I will take when they were younger, I could beat them, right? As they grow older, you realize, okay, he's 26. Well, my African-American friends would be like, oh, I will beat him up and what, well, I can't do that. So I understand that at that point, I become more of a mentor. And that's where I will share. And sometimes you have to pray. And I'm praying that what I have prayed and instilled is what, when they're older, they will do. Mm-hmm. And after I've done that, I remember the hula hoop and I say, okay, God, that's outside my control. I will pray, and I have prayed and I have fasted, and now I'm letting you take control. This child is truly in your hands.
Wow, that is important. Thank you so much. This is the Mother's Day special. And for those who are joining us and for those who will join us later, we have a beautiful panel tonight or today. I know those who are in Kenya, it is all in the evening. One of the things that we have said is it's important to recognize your season. And once you recognize your season, you are able to stay within that season. Are you in a summer? Then you dress according to summer. Are you in winter season in your mother's life? Then you realize, yes, it is a winter season in my life. I need to do A, B, C, D. It will be ridiculous for you to behave like you're in a summer season, and yet in the real sense, you are in the winter season. Everybody will think, are you okay? And that is the time that you need to embrace others, the community. Who is that friend of yours who you can talk to? And since we have counselors in the studio today, we would wish to address some of the challenges that go in different seasons. From the time a mother is becoming a mother, when the baby is in the womb, and the time the baby is born, and the time the baby is in that other stage. Anyway, some of these things I may not be able to understand very well, and that is why we have guests in the studio. Wairimo Watani Waidaka, thank you so much for being here and giving us the motivation. Julie Talks Mulovi, Pastor, praise God. Thank you so much and welcome. When I see you, I see the whole of Asifa and I feel very, very motivated and encouraged. I say hello to Pastor Clement and the whole team down there. Thank you so much. Lucy Watoana, karibu sana. Duo blessed. Maggie Amogo, thank you so much. Mudogoto Nyamnyams, our secretary in the Ministry of Trumpet of Hope. Thank you so much. Shiko Mwethiga, thank you so much. Grace Watani, Thank you. Watching you a small seas. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank
Wangezi
you.
Rachel from Seattle, Washington. Welcome. Thank you so much. And let us continue. Now, different seasons in the whole cycle or the whole process of being a mother. Do we start with you, Daktari, or do we start wherever? Let us start off with the first part. What are the things and the do's and the don'ts as we celebrate Mother's Day?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to say, I was there so many years ago that sometimes it's a little hard to even remember. I do want to say, though, that when you first find out that you're pregnant, there is something that kicks in as a mother, that protective thing. You want to protect your child, and then there's always that you want to eat the right things. You want to be able to go to the doctor to make sure that everything is well. But what I want to mention is it's something that a lot of times we don't necessarily, we are not told. And I want to share my experience. So when I went through that experience and everything was really awesome. And then I had my child and I had a lot of fear because I wondered, will I be a good mother? What if this child falls sick in the middle of the day? And I'm saying this not because I was all by myself. It's just the human in me was afraid of this responsibility. I looked at this child, 10 toes, 10 fingers. And there was something in me that said, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. And so I went through a moment of depression. They call it baby blues. I had no idea what that was. And I also expected that when I hold this child in my arms, you see it on the TVs. They tell you, oh, you have all this love. And to be honest, I didn't feel that. All I felt was the fear. I'm like, oh my God, what if I drop him and he breaks? So that immense love that they portray, that came later. And I learned something. I grew to love my child as I spent time with him, as I looked after him, as I changed those diapers. Then the love became overwhelming to where I thought, oh my God, I will give my life for this child. That wasn't there the first day I held him in my arms. So that kind of confused me for a while. And so when I talk about the baby blues, I want to say one thing that I learned is it's normal to go through that. And one of the things that helps is turning to someone and talking to them and saying, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm going through. Getting somebody who is older, who's been there before, saying, hey, mama, I'm feeling like this. Is that normal? And then hearing somebody say to you, yes, it's absolutely normal. And by the way, don't expect you will know exactly what to do. You will not. You're learning. And maybe they've written books and you've read books. The experience is very different. And if you start experiencing moments of doubt, that's normal. It is so normal because you're a human being. You're dealing with a human being. And there'll be the things that you learn. And I tell people, I make people laugh when I say, for my first child, everything was boiled. Everything was, you go through, you're boiling pots and pans and everything is disinfected. I got my second child and I realized, I don't have to disinfect everything. If something falls to the floor, just pick it up and blow on it and put it back in his mouth. He's not going to die. That comes from experience. So in those first few months, let me also say one thing. Enjoy it. We forget to stop and enjoy it. We are so busy trying to put everything together, the cribs, or the baby shower, or the this and that. Stop for a moment. Take a step back and enjoy the process. I know sometimes you're feeling nauseated. All those things are part of the package. I want to say to you, enjoy just the whole. Can you imagine you have a person growing within you? What an honor. Enjoy it. Enjoy every single moment. Take a moment, take a breather. and just enjoy the moment. If there's anything I can say to you, anything that I'll ask you to remember is, yes, enjoy every single moment. That process, even with its challenges, enjoy it.
That's very emotional. Tell us, Lucy, when in that particular season, so that we'll be able to capture a few bits, and out of this we'll be able to come up with different topics. Where does postpartum depression come in, and what is your advice to new mothers when it comes to that issue, and also the community? Because I'm seeing that is one of the questions that have been asked by two people right now. And since we are still in that season, let's handle that briefly.
Thank you so much, Captain. And what a joy. My sister Pauline talked about the special time. During that time, there's so much that goes on in the body. Mm-hmm. We are human beings. God has wired us with hormones in our bodies. And during that time, there is that chemical imbalances that happen, and here I'm not giving any medical advice. I want to put that disclaimer here. I'm just trying to say our experiences, which we share as mothers. So in case of anything, you feel anything, you need to consult your medical doctor. But that said, we got chemical imbalances in our body, and sometimes we do not even realize. And I think many times we are, as mothers, like my sister was saying, it's very important to be in a forum or get mothers whom you can share your experiences. Because there's one word in nursing that we use, not assumption. We assume, in Kikuyu, it says, I'm just feeling like that. That feeling like that after birth, it is something that needs to be checked. So it's very important that you never assume, because you can assume and it can kill you, not physically killing, but it takes away your joy because of those chemical imbalances in your body. You have this bundle of joy with you, but then you're not enjoying. You find yourself depressed, or you find yourself anxious. You find yourself not even enjoying your marriage anymore because of those chemical imbalances in your body. So it's very important, the before care, during the care, and postpartum care. Very, very important that you are able to go back to your gyna and to your primary care physician and talk about your feelings. And that is where in mental health we come in. It's okay to say, I am not okay. I am not okay. After I gave birth to this child, I am not feeling okay. I'm anxious. I'm bitter. I am, I feel, I'm tearful. I'm crying. I'm yelling all the time, So those keeping it real with a safe, we call them safe haven, whereby you're talking to a sister who will pray for you. And here I want to say prayers are good. But as you pray, go to see the doctor. Don't just say there, niombe, alafu unakaa tu hapo, and then things become worse. And the next thing, you're not enjoying your child. That's why you find people even committing suicide or even killing their loved ones because of those chemical imbalances. So it's important to be real and say, physicians, doctors, science is the work of God. And God has ordained, has given us those doctors. So pray, go see a doctor, enjoy motherhood.
Wow, thank you so
much. Before we move on, if you don't mind, let me just interject very quickly here to say this. It doesn't make you any less Christian to ask for help. It doesn't say you are not a believer because you are depressed. Please understand that the human body is created in certain ways, and God gave these doctors the knowledge, the wisdom to be able to help, to be able to treat. So asking for help does not make you weak. In fact, asking for help is a sign of strength.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Doctor, do you think the society understand what the mother goes through during that particular fast season? Do you think that we, the men or the fathers or the other mothers, like the shosho to this young daughter who became pregnant at 18, or even the boyfriend, or even the teacher in school, do you think that we understand what you mothers go through, and what should we do and what should we not do? We are still on the first season.
Oh my goodness, that is such a loaded question, Captain. It is such a loaded question. And I say it's loaded because we come from a society and a culture and a people who, there's certain things that we've pressed down culturally. The culture has an expectation. The culture puts you in a box. So the culture expects me as a new mother to handle my business. Essentially, mutumia negotumeria, suffer in silence. And so we see that modeled by our mothers, by our grandmothers. And so when it comes to us, I started questioning a lot of things, and I started wondering, and there'll be times when my mother would be like, it's almost like, don't talk because it's not acceptable to talk. But the thing is, we need to raise an anthem and say, enough with suffering in silence. Because if I'm suffering in silence, guess what? I am not being the mother I should be to my child, because the children we don't have to say things. They can sense it. There's a way that the child is brought up in an atmosphere that becomes very toxic to them. And we think they don't know, they don't see that. They start reacting in certain ways just because of that situation that they've been brought up in. So to answer your question, the society really doesn't understand. But this is where now we come in. And we start raising an awareness to let them know that if you see your wife quiet, if you see your wife crying all the time, it's not your fault. Men tend to want to fix things. I need to fix this because no, it's not yours to fix. It is yours to be there to say, hey, how can I help? And she may not even know how you can help. And maybe it is a time for you to reach out to another mother, someone that you know she's close to, and say, this is what I'm seeing. You saying that, you're not necessarily putting your stuff out there. It is creating that awareness. We need to talk about these things. We need to be able to ask people to speak out. How are you feeling today? I have asked mothers, how are you feeling? And they're like, okay, I guess. And I'm like, that's a textbook answer. What do you mean, okay? And when I prod, they start coming out with, I don't know, I'm feeling really sad today. I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. And they say it almost in an apologetic manner, because I really shouldn't be feeling like this. So please forgive me for saying I'm feeling like this. So one, create the awareness that there will be times when I may need to put down my hat, I may need to cry, my hair will be all over the place, and it's okay. We need to start creating a safe place for people to know that just because you say this, you're not ostracized in society. Do you remember how we used to have those people in Madare because they are crazy? Now that we're in this country, we realize there's something called mental illness, and it is a real thing.
Yes.
And it can be treated. So we need to start raising that awareness. And if you don't know what to say, just tell the person, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to do with this. But we have so many resources that we can go to. Let's start using those resources. And by the way, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, because as a society, we have for so long made assumptions. But you know what? Let me say this. I know we're talking about mothers, but I can also say that fathers also go through their own challenges. If you're in a marriage and you have a child, neither of you will really know what to do with this child. But sometimes the father expects the mother to know. or vice versa. So I just want to say that this is a moment for us to be able to start dialoguing. Can we talk? We don't talk about these things. We make assumptions. Talk about things. Talk about what challenges am I facing? And then talk about how do we get out of this? But there has to be that awareness and the ability to stop suffering in silence. And those of us who are raising anthems, that's why we're doing this, because we suffered for too long. We don't want the next generation to go through the same thing.
Wow, this is awesome. We are having a very special discussion. This is Mother's Day weekend. I know there's so much going on, and we don't want to forget that it is important to celebrate the mothers. And we are here with Daktari and Lucy, and it is just awesome. These are mothers and leaders in the society, counselors, Bible teachers, and they can answer any question that you have. If you're there in the community, you're there, maybe you're working or you're just somewhere, you can just shoot that text or you can write that message or comment on this broadcast. Now, we are talking about the different seasons. So we dwelt on maybe the first part. Can we please look at the other seasons, maybe generally? And what we need to do and what not to do. Lucy.
Yeah, thank you, Captain. Yeah, very interesting about to hear about the toddlers and the infants, and now we come to our preteens and the teens, and that is where you find these are children, in both worlds. Now they are transitioning from being the baby, the mama's baby, mama is always happy, everything is cool, as they call it, Mm-hmm. Now, this is the stage where the teens are trying to find themselves and who they are. They want to get an identity. And lo and behold, you hear a teen say, why are you talking back with you? That does not happen. It didn't happen. I don't know about you, but I think my sister here and the Captain, you are in that generation. We have different generations, right? Yeah. The traditionists, we have the baby boomers, we have the Generation X, the Y, and the Generation Z. And each of those generations have different perspectives of life. Now, we are talking about our teenagers here, who are mostly in that generation of, the Gen Z, and things are changing. And so for me, when growing up, I didn't know how even to talk back to my mom. Back is taken negatively, right? But there is something I want to highlight here. We cannot, and I want to say it very clearly, that we cannot parent the way we were parented. It will backfire. Ask me, I've done it. I have generations. I have my boys, 32, 24, 21. Mom, we got to style up. We got to style up and have to understand the culture. We're not going to change them. Like I said earlier, we cannot change our children. We cannot control them. We have the guidelines, but we got to create that relationship. Guess what? Sometimes you think we know our children, but we don't know them. Ask me. The other day, I thought I knew my teenager. I thought I knew my young child. But it takes you an awareness to know that you got to create that relationship where you can sit down and understand them. Over a cup of tea, they don't take tea, or just, go to their rooms, or just driving, making it simple. It doesn't have to be a lecture. My children ask me, Mom, does it always have to be a lesson? Because all the time you're giving them lessons, they get bored. But you got to understand who they are. You got to understand who your teen is. You got to identify, like my sister, Dr. Pauline has said, you got to know who their friends are. You got to know their struggles. There's one thing I got from a friend, and I adapted it, because I asked her, I have 3 boys, wonderful boys. Now here is a teenage girl. I didn't know how to behave. I want her, and she said there's something she had adopted in a good friend, that every time the child comes from home, You ask them, oh, how was your day? Don't just ask them, how was school? They'll say, good. Yeah, they will say that. But you got to create a dialogue and say, hey, sometimes you even cook. Sorry, you're not lying. You just cook and say, hey, today at work, I was so stressed out. In my computer here, in that Zoom, it was, that person was so mean. And they'll start opening up and say, Mom, guess what? Today, my French teacher, my Spanish teacher, that boy, I felt like hitting them. They start talking about their frustrations, especially during this time of the pandemic, when they come back and all the frustrations. So what am I saying? Every stage, parents, mothers, we got to create a relationship with our children. And guess what? Today, I have very bad news to all mothers in our community. A child is not for the community. I don't know where that came from. A child is not for the community. Your child is your child. The Bible has told you in Deuteronomy 6, when they sit down, as you're walking, as you're talking, talk about these things. It is our duty. God has given us the duty. We said we are co-parenting. We are tools in his hands. We are ambassadors for our children. We got to create time, and business cannot be, it's nothing to give an excuse for. We got to create time. If you are working doubles to buy that mansion or that Mercedes, hello, I've got bad news for you. The child is not for the community. The community comes in when you have done your part, because as they grow, you have taught them the ways of the Lord. You have taught them the ways they should go. Will they depart? Yes, they might depart, but they will never depart. What I mean is that they'll make bad choices sometimes. It's okay for them to make mistakes. They will make mistakes in their youth, trying to be, Mom, you're boring, Mom thinks. So they're trying to find the wrong, find who they are, but sometimes they'll get burnt. It's okay for them to make mistakes. So, but when you have that relationship with them, especially when they are grown, I would like to talk about the grown kids. They've transitioned from teenage, now here they are, they've finished high school, they've gone to college, and now they're living on their own. Oh my goodness, is it possible to care for them without taking care of them? We want to come in. We got to now change the sails. The way we were going, our GPS, otherwise you start coming back. When you have a GPS and you hit a detour, it says you turn because you have the wrong sails. We got to put new sails, redefine our relationship with our young adults, be able to talk to them. Let them talk about their struggles. You got to respect where they are. Because sometimes we want to do the things when they were in middle school, you want to talk to them the way they were. That is disrespectful. Ask me, I've been there. You make those mistakes and you're going to lose them. But it's okay to come and say, hey, son, so what is it that I need to know about this relationship with this girl? And lo and behold, they will open up, So take care of them. You take care for them, you be the loving mother, but you can't keep now enabling them. We got to let them go, move forward, move forward, mature to be the independent children, because we all want them to be independent and leave you, and so that you can have a life. Hello, some of us don't have a life. We still have adults and we're calling them every day. We are empty nesters. So we got to redefine our relationship. So along the way, as teenagers, have a relationship with them where you discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the day. That way you minimize the tension in your home. They will be able to open up to you. And as adults, you'll be able to enjoy the adulthood because you have a relationship. And then once you do that, the community comes in. But you cannot let the community parent for you. It cannot happen. You have an obligation as a parent to lay those foundations for your child.
Thank you so much because of that beautiful message. I know that we are all getting this, and it is a special Mother's Day weekend, and we have to do this. I don't know whether you have something to add on that, Dr. Pauline.
I was just going to say that when they're younger, when we talk about the different seasons of a mother, it also goes with the different seasons of our children. And when they first start out, of course, there is that whole thing of I'm the protector, I'm watching over them. And as they grow older, you take on the role of a coach, where now I'm coaching them through things. And this is where the teenage years come in. And one thing I was going to say is look for teachable moments. It's not every day that you want to talk to them about, oh, okay, you need to act like this, you need to act like that. I started getting teachable moments. And I'll give you an example. We were in the car one time driving with my sons. I can't even remember where we were going, but we were on Beltway 8. And one of they were talking in the backseat, and one of them said, I need to get a girlfriend. And I'm quiet, so they're just talking. And, so they were talking, I need to get a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, that's very interesting. Why do you think you need a girlfriend? And one of them said, so I can practice. Of course, their first thought is, oh, Gaimwadani, what does that even mean? But then I said, oh, tell me, practice what? And so he go, well, to hold hands, to maybe kiss. And I said, oh, that's very interesting that you would want to do that. And I said, well, think about this. When you talk about practice, are you old enough to get married? They're like, oh, no. I said, oh, okay. So, and when you're thinking about practice, this is someone's sister, right? And they were like, yeah, okay. So you want to practice with someone's sister, but you're not old enough to get married. You're not emotionally or even psychologically ready to get married. And they were like, no. I said, okay, how would you feel if someone was to do that with your sister? They were just practicing. And they were like, oh my God, that's just wrong. And I said, okay. So now think about that. It's easy to talk about things in the abstract because it's not real. But when you start thinking about it in context, it starts making sense. And I said, how would you feel if somebody was to practice with your mother? Oh my God, they were like, oh, okay, no, let's not, no, don't go there. So I said to them, just think about that. So everything was quiet for a moment. And then one of them said, okay, so Mom, at what age do you think it would be appropriate to have a girlfriend? I said, that's interesting. So jokingly, I said, okay, for the two of you who are older, maybe 21, and for the youngest, when he's 35. And they're like, oh my God, what do you mean? But you know what I didn't realize is that made an impression, because years later, I kid you not, one of them, I was like, okay, I think you're old enough. I haven't seen any dalilis or whatever. And he said, don't you remember? You told me to wait until I was 21. That just blew me away. It was a moment in time, but it was a teachable moment. So look for those teachable moments, and you will see them as mothers. Your child will say something that will make you go, okay, that's a teachable moment. And it could be in the car when you're driving them to school. It could be in the kitchen. Anywhere, just capitalize on those moments so that it doesn't become another, okay, it's a Congress meeting, now we've done wrong, and now we are being told off. Teachable moments. And then make them, sometimes you have to be deliberate when you're talking to your children. Make it a deliberate, maybe it is us, let's go shopping. You're going shopping, and you can interject things. So it doesn't have to, what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be like a classroom where, on Monday we're taking chemistry, we're taking physics. No, it is whatever moment you have, capitalize on that moment, make it teachable. And then as they move older, you become more of a mentor, where you wait for them to ask you. I have a son who's married. I don't go to him and say, okay, your wife is not doing A, B, C, D. No, it's her home. If she wants to have it painted in green and yellow, that's up to her. It's not my home. So I wait for them to ask me. I don't offer. I'm not all up in their business. It's not an easy thing to do, but I have learned as a wise woman, because I want those relationships, I stay out of it. if I go to their home and, I used to babysit for them, and I would follow her instructions. She would say to me, this child is going, this is what I'd like. Those are the things I did. And then because of that relationship, she would come to me and say, what do you think I should do here? Then I offer. But I'm not going to start telling them, you need to start making tea the way I used to make it. No. That's their home.
This is mind-blowing. I don't know how, but I remember Dr. Wero from California wrote a book called Juggling, the mothers, and juggling. And at one point, I'm like, so how do you balance between the different cultures, the different ages, the religious backgrounds, sexual orientations? We were brought this way, and here we were brought up this way, and here we are bringing up our children this way, and you have to balance all that. It is just mind-blowing how mothers do it. It is only so. Anyway, let me not even go there. Now, our time is running so fast. We have a lot to handle, but we cannot be able to finish. We cannot even be able to go quarter of it. I don't know whether, Lucy, you promised me that we can be able to handle some of these topics one by one, and then we can just organize to have such a forum. We can do it maybe later in the evenings, and we're going to have our meeting and discuss this because there's a lot to discuss. There are these people who are taking care of their sons and daughters' children. They moved from Kenya, and they are here, and they are mothers to these to their sons and daughters, and they are grandparents to their children. But sometimes we want to do things the way we did, and we have our fight. And Dr. Pauline, I think there's something that you mentioned that maybe they should quote or they should learn from. But as we continue, a few questions coming in. But before we do that, Lucy, I don't know whether you need to mention something about the other season.
Yeah, sure. And that is now the letting go season. I call it the letting go because during this time, the children now have grown, and they're in college, and now they finished, and you got to let them go. Mm-hmm. And that is where now, as a mother, you come up here, like here, I am here. You have, the number of bedrooms that are empty. And you wonder what happened. And there you are, and you are like, oh my goodness. One was in that room, the other one was in that room, the other was in that room now. You kind of reflect back and said, Lucy, do you remember the days you walk into that room and the socks, were everywhere, while your ushers and the dirty socks and shoes everywhere, and all you did was scream? Did you enjoy those moments? And this is it's an eye opener that during this time you got to enjoy the seasons in your children's life. Every child, before I even go back to the season, every child is unique. Mom, we got to know that whether they are 4 or 2 or 1, a child is unique. Every child is unique. We cannot parent our times, and our parents did so well. They knew no better. But I know my dad had a favorite. I think she's tuned in today. I have 2 sisters. They had favorites, but we can't play favorites. We cannot play favorites. You got to take that unique child. It's something I adopted. And sometimes it's good to adopt things, which works. And when I found out that every child is unique and want to have a relationship with them and want to find out where they are in life, one of them loves to eat. He loves to barbecue. And what we would do is might be have a dinner, go somewhere, sit down, have a good meal. And as he's talking and cutting the meat and everything, or sometimes he's just barbecuing, during Mother's Day. He loves to do that. I'm going to miss him tomorrow because he'll not be here. He's on his own. And those are the moments now he's talking about his struggles, about his good, his life. And the other one just loves to read. They know I love to sing. The other one in the car. And in the other one, you have devices, just when they are okay, they need their time. So when you find that uniqueness in your child, you are able to relate to them. So when they grow, now when they come to you, it's not like you don't know your child. What happened to you? No, because it is an ongoing journey, and every journey you enjoy the process, but you also find out who they are. And they also want to find out who this mom is. It's a two-way thing. It's a journey that we enjoy with our children, so that even if there are challenges, because let's keep it real, parenting has its challenges, those painful times, you are able to say, hey, move forward. You don't give all the advice, you care for them, but not, of taking care of them. We got to draw that line, and I might want to repeat it again. We care for them because we love them. They are our children. Nobody else will take care of them. But then there are moments that you got to let them make the mistakes and they learn from them. We all want to see mature children, our children mature to be adults, but will they make mistakes? Painful mistakes sometimes for parents? Yes, they will. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we take it so deeply that we don't let them learn. And maybe that's another conversation for another day. For parents in pain. Some of us mothers are in pain, and you feel, oh, I'm the only one. Lucy, no. The other parents in pain, you can get together. You can get a support group to talk about the challenges that you're going through. Some of the children have made bad mistakes and they are suffering the consequences. Some of us made bad choices while we were teenagers, and we could be suffering the same consequences. And you can talk to another mother and find out, how do we navigate this? The Bible tells us there is nothing that you're going through that has not been experienced by anyone else. But guess what? God will give you a way of escape. So how do we go through this? I know we are talking about the seasons of letting go. It's not an easy thing. And I want to say here that you have a weapon. We have each other. But then before you go to other people, you got to devise a way. You got to have a weapon. And the greatest weapon I want to say here as a mother, in all respect, is prayer. You got to be a prayerful mom. And what are you saying about your child? Are you declaring anything negative or positive? Declare goodness of the Lord over them. Tell them they are blessed. They cannot be cast. In the morning as they go to school, you have the mind of Christ. Declare to them, assure them, hug them. That is why presence is very important. Be a present parent. Don't buy them presents. They don't need those Nikes and I don't know all the other designer shoes. They don't need 10 pairs of Nike shoes. They need your presence, not your presents. They don't have to wait until December and tell them, I'm working hard because I have to buy you an iPhone. Is it 12? The other day, I think I had my daughter talk about 12 on 11, see something. They don't need all those gadgets. They are good. They need your presence. So be a present parent especially the formative years of our young ones, preteens, teenagers, so that when they go, they'll come back to you because you have a relationship.
That is good. That is great. As we come to wind up this program, I know there's so much that we were not able to handle, but I request that we'll be able to handle this in a part 2, maybe after the Mother's Day. And I know that will be important. Daktari, do you want us to handle a few questions?
Yes, I think that would be in order, Captain.
And thank you so much. Question number 1, the importance of Mother's Day and what should one do? What are some of the things that one should do during this very special day?
First of all, I want to say, if you have a mother who is still alive, I would encourage you, give her a call. You don't have to say much. Let her know how much you appreciate. Thank her. I know it sounds really strange saying this, but when my mother was alive, one of the things that I did is I told her I really thank her and appreciate her for everything that she did for me.
Mhm.
It was such a moment of, one of those moments you have with your mother where you're both crying and you're hugging on each other. And I just let her know how much I loved her. If there was anything I ever needed to say, I said it, which is why after she passed, I had no regrets. So I urge you, call your mother, appreciate her. And I know, let me say this, I know she may not have been the best because we make mistakes as mothers. Absolutely. I have made my mistakes with my children. But remember, you only have one mother. So call her, thank her, appreciate her. And, don't wait until it's Mother's Day. I would say, give her a call and just say, hey, Mom. And if you can go see her, do so. Go and let her know that she is appreciated, that she is loved. As mothers, there are things that we carry that we never share with anybody else. Because I will tell you, as a praying woman, I have gone on my knees for my children and I have fought battles for them that they may never know. And I do that because that's a God-given gift. That's a mandate that God has given me. So call your mother, appreciate her. And it doesn't have to be a gift. We're always thinking, oh, I need to buy a gift. You are the best gift you could ever give to your mother. Just hearing you say to her, Mom, I love you. Mom, I appreciate you. Do it.
Thank you. That is powerful. Lucy, I know there's so much that we need to handle, but I want you to just very briefly talk about the mothers who are their mothers, but they don't have children of their own. Somebody is asking, well, can we have a message for them?
Thank you, Captain. That's a good, yes. Yes. I just want to reassure them and tell them they are special in God's eyes. When the Bible tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, that exactly who you are as a mom. As a woman, God made you first as a woman and made you special. So not having children does not make you less of the beauty that God saw in you. And want to say that you are special and you got to affirm yourself, and you may not feel like it. But guess what? We don't live by feelings, because if you let our feelings, then that's how we become depressed. So I want to assure you that God loves you. And I know some of women, I know of a mother back in my village. She didn't have children. But what she did, she adopted, not adopting as like she serves other women. We still remember her up to today. She is a spiritual mother. So you don't have to be physically have your own children. You can be a spiritual mother, a mother of many nations like Sarah. You can be a mother of many nations. So continue doing good, speaking life to children, other people's children, preaching the word of God. Wherever you are, flourish, and God will continue blessing you as that wonderful mother that you were. And to the single mothers, you are doing a wonderful job. It's not easy, like I said, but it can be beautiful with the challenges of, motherhood, those that are married. We know it can still be challenging, even with the husband. So to you, kudos to you, single mothers, that you are taking up that parenting role of a mother. You're the father, you're everything. It takes the grace of God. But guess what? You are more than enough. You are able. You are well able. Plug yourself into prayer. That's a weapon, like I said before. Read the word of God and surround yourself with fun, loving women. Let me tell you something. I don't know why I didn't tell this story, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
When my father passed on, my mom passed on some years back, and then my father. And when I came back from Kenya, I went into almost a depression, over there. I don't want to diagnose myself. And then I had this constant headache. And when, the doctor tried to give me all medications and couldn't go away, And even they did some tests. And he asked me, and what do you do for life? And I told him, my schedule, and the weekends I go to fellowship, I do this. And I told him my children, that time my daughter, I think, was 7. And guess what he told me? You got to surround yourself with your 7-year-olds. Hello, I don't know where you got that. Sometimes women, we are too tight on ourselves, preaching and you got to achieve. No, women, it's your day tomorrow. We've been celebrating you the whole month. Get up, say no, get spoiled, have some time to laugh, some comedies. I'm not a very good movie person, but my children will put a movie and, I'll be like, Mom, you slept over it. Do something fun, lighten up. Sometimes we are too tight and think no, we don't have to finish the race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Beautiful. And it takes time, and you don't have to have it all together, and learn to say no. No is a good answer. If Pauline says, Lucy, can I meet you today? I say no. I've been awake since 6 o'clock, and today I need my time, me time. So no is a good answer.
Thank you so much. Dr. Pauline, I know we are running out of time. I want to appreciate everybody who was able to tune in, and those who will come in later. Shix, Justin, Mary Size, I see Mary Wangari from Tarbol, Kakamega, Wairimo Watani saying, presence more than presence. I love this. Hugs to the mothers. Wairimo, thank you so much. Now, as we come to a conclusion, I want you to just go a spiritual part of the whole of this, and I want you to give us a blessing and a prayer, and then we will just come and say kwaheri.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And as I pray, I just want to pray for all those women who may not be mothers. Your purpose as a community, we've looked at it and thought you are less than because you don't have a biological child. Today, I want to announce to you, you have a purpose. And when God created you, he looked at you and he said, it is very good. So remember, you are not less than, you are not more than, you just are. And that is the blessing. So Heavenly Father, this morning, we just want to bless you. We come before you. We thank you for every single mother, every single woman, every single adult or child who has logged into this show this morning. Jehovah God, we just want to pray for them, that you will bless them, oh God, that you will bless them in their homes. You will bless them in the field. You will bless them when they come and when they go. And that Jehovah God, whatever they find their hand to do, as they do that, oh God, may you bless it. May you increase them. Jehovah, we want to lift up these women before you. Father, you have given us such a mandate. You have given us such a holy thing that you allow us to be able to bring forth children, that we may co-parent with you, you who is the greatest Father of all. We remember those single mothers who are raising children on their own. And I thank you because you are the Father to the fatherless. You are the Father to those who may have never met their fathers. And I want to pray for those women that you may give them that wisdom that comes from you. You have told us that if any man lacks wisdom, to ask of it. So we are asking for that wisdom. Give them the wisdom, oh God, for every single season that they go through, every single challenge. I thank you because you've already gone ahead of them, and you are the one who's going before them. You are the one who's carrying them through those tough times. And Father, I want to pray for providence. We didn't talk about it, but Father, sometimes we struggle as parents because we don't feel like we have enough for our children. I want to pray that you may provide emotionally, provide finances, provide even the time that these parents have with their children. I pray that today you will give us a heart of wisdom, that we may number our days aright, and that we may enjoy every single moment that we have with these children. And Father, for every season, whether they are young children, whether they are babies, whether they are teenagers, adults, grown adults, for every single season, I thank you because you've given grace, enough grace to be able to bear that season, enough strength for that season. So Father, may you apportion that grace for each parent wherever they are in their season. And Lord, I pray for those who may be hurting, that you may comfort them, the comfort that comes from you. And may you give them strength to walk through those seasons. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. That has been a beautiful moment, and we wish to come to a conclusion. Thank you so much for availing a time to come and share with us so deeply. I know we were supposed to be somewhere physically, and so Mandazi and Chai, Mam Lucy, please. We need to organize on how we're going to get that.
Yes. Yes.
Now, tell me, your books, Dr. Pauline, your books, I know you have, you're an author, and people would wish to know more about the Florence.
Okay, Brokenly Flawless, I invite you to log on to my website, paulineakatsahinga.com. And that information, you will find the books. I have written 2 romance novels. I know, I'm a hopeless romantic. What can I say? And I also have information about Brokenly Flawless on the website. So please visit the website.
And that is, you said Pauline Akatsahinga.
Yes.
That is paulineakatsahinga.com. That is
Yes.
the simplest way of getting this information. Just go to paulineakatsahinga.com and you will get the book. You said some nice romance.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's see. Your final words.
For me, I would like to say I have something cooking on the pipeline, so watch out for a parenting book coming out soon. Yes, so look out for that book coming out coming soon. And I would like to tell the women that you are blessed. You are praised. You are blessed by your children. Call you blessed, and your husbands say that they praise you. And if you're not married, you are blessed. You are loved. You got to assure yourself that. Say it even when you don't feel it, because you got to love yourself. And also for the women and mothers, keep fighting. You got to fight for your families. And how do you fight? Fight from your knees. And when you fight, your home will be a heaven of laughter and joy, even in the midst of pain, because God will never leave you nor forsake you. Have a happy Mother's Day. We love you. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I'm looking forward to having you again so that we can handle the other topics that we could not be able to handle. So many things going on. And one of the biggest challenge that we need to organize ourselves is to have our children, the children from, and especially the teenagers, that's that part. And we have them for our, one-on-one.
Right.
And that will be good. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Molimo Lucy,
sure.
Please take that challenge, organize for us. We can have a one-on-one with the children, and then they can ask you questions.
Sure.
They can share their fears. They can share the issues that they go through. Sometimes we may not be able to understand them so much because we are in our own world. But the minute we give them a forum, and I know that you can help me to organize that.
Sure, absolutely. We'll do that.
Looking forward to MC the book launch.
Okay. Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we come to the end of our program. That has been a beautiful moment. I want to say thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to be together. We say shalom, shalom, shalom. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We wish you the very best. We love you. And in the trumpet of hope, we say we cannot do without you as the mothers. We send our shout outs and we say, mwah. Enjoy yourselves. They may not send you any flower. They may not send you any gift. They may not even call you. But know that we in the trumpet of hope celebrate all the mothers out there, and we wish you a beautiful Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Weekend. God bless you and enjoy yourselves wherever you are. In case you need to call us, follow us on our YouTube channel, follow us on our Facebook, and like us and get our numbers, and we'll be able to be together. Visit our website, that is captainrtv.com, and everything will be beautiful. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Captain RTV, the trumpet of hope. Captain RTV, Karubeta Kamwe Hoko. Karubeta Kamwe Hoko.
This is a new project that we are rolling out. We are calling it Naivasha View Estate. It has some very, very good views of Mount Longonot, Kenton Hill, and Mount Margaret behind me, right behind me. It's really a beautiful land. The amenities are here. We are about 800 meters from the tarmac, and water and electricity is about 600 meters away from this land. You can actually buy and build. We're going to start fencing this land in about a week's time, electrical fencing. We have sand on the land, on the lower part. So the cost of building is very, very cheap here compared even to other areas, Nairobi and all that. Building stones are just down here in Maimahiu. So the cost of construction is definitely going to be much, much, much lower compared to other areas. So we are welcoming all of you guys to come join us in this project. It's really a worthwhile project, and we are very, very excited about it as Team Rico. Come invest with us, have the mother title with me, and immediately after you pay, give us just a maximum of 60 days after you complete doing your payment, and then we're going to give you a title. And we are known in giving titles very well from Nanyuki and now this new project in the Nakuru County. So welcome investors, invest with us, and you'll be very, very happy. This is a very, very favorite quote by Mark Twain. He said, and I quote, "Buy land, they're not making it anymore." Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.